Hi, this is Shane Terry. I play the killer in the film Bloody Ballet, and you are listening to the movie Raid.
It's time for the movie raid, and tonight's victim is actor Shane Terry, that has done films such as Bloody Ballet, amongst others. Hello.
Hello, Mike. Appreciate you taking the time to have me on your show.
Always. So what have you been up to lately?
I have not really released any as of yet. I just did start working on the new project a couple of months ago. It's a new film called Killer Babes and the Frightening Film Fiasco. We shot a couple of scenes for that about a month or so ago, and then right now we're on hiatus until April, and I've got some scenes that I will be filming in April. But with Killer Babes and the Frightening Film Fiasco, if your fans have not heard of the film yet, fans of Linnea Quigley from Return of the Living Dead, she will be appearing in it, as well as Lisa Wilcox from Nightmare on Elm Street 4 and 5. This movie has a stellar cast. We have Tiffany Shepis. She's in the movie Victor Crowley. She's in it. Debbie Rochon is going to be in it from Trauma Film, Scream Queen. It's just, please, just check it out on Facebook. Killer Babes and the Frightening Film Fiasco.
Oh, that's very cool, man. Very cool. And when can we expect this? Is this going to happen like maybe later this year or maybe next year that we can possibly see some kind of trailer or is any kind of release footage of this?
According to our director, Brett Mullen, he's the director of that one. According to the director, he's hoping to have it out Halloween of 2020. So it should be later on this year. It shouldn't be very long a wait at all. Like I said, we're going to we pick back up filming in April, and I think we've got about a 1 week block of shooting, and that should be it. And then it's going straight into post-production.
Has this one become more of a recognition, despite the cast? Has this become more of a positive effect on you on this current project as opposed to Bloody Ballet or any other project in the past?
Well, yeah, definitely, because Brett Mullen is the director on Killer Babes and the Frightening Film Fiasco, and he is also the director of Bloody Ballet, as well as the Bombshell Bloodbath, my best films as of to date. With each film that I do with Brett, Brett is an incredible cinematographer. He has a very great eye for lighting. Each of his films, they just get bigger and better. I've come a long way with Brett. We all have here in North Carolina. Speaking of other North Carolina filmmakers and other projects that I'm working on, I know you had Jason Buterin on the show recently. I'm not sure if you're aware, but I am one of the clowns in Kill Giggles. I play a clown called Kinky Dinky, and Kinky Dinky is a stripper clown. Kill Giggles is a film that's very close to my heart because if you know anything about the film, if you've seen any of the promotions for the film, I was the poster clown for Kill Giggles. So up until the day that the cameras really started rolling, the clown that you saw on the poster was me. We shot about 4 promo videos for that a couple of years ago when we were getting ready for filming, and literally out of the 4 promo videos, I was involved in at least 3 of those 4. That film by Jason Buterin, I think he is looking for the world premiere of that sometime this spring. I want to say around May of 2020 he should be releasing that, so definitely keep your eyes out for that as well.
Do you think that genre or character is really the sole base of influence of your craft? Do you think that's one of the two is actually the best way? Do you think that's the base of the influence for you, is genre or the character?
Genre definitely plays a lot into the character. It's always a little bit more fun to play a character in a horror movie than, say, a comedy or a chick flick, romance or something. I think the horror genre gives you a lot more range to play a bigger variety of characters, per se. For the film Bloody Ballet, I played a masked killer. For me personally, I like to put as much of myself into the character as possible, or as much into the character design as possible. The killer in Bloody Ballet, that wardrobe and mask was picked for me. Once I got that on and basically developed my character of who I was inside this outfit, I kind of had to do that on the fly, on set. I didn't have any time to prepare, to where the character Kinky Dinky that I played for Kill Giggles, when Jason gave me that role, I was I knew I could have just showed up on set and they'd just be like, okay, Joe Hart, slap some makeup on him, some wardrobe, Shane, play. And I could have done that and it would have been great, but I was like, oh no, Jason, I got this. I was like, I'm going to design the clown myself. Like, I designed everything from head to toe. The only part of that wardrobe I did not design were my stripper pants. The wig, the makeup design, I put, when it was all said and done, I put about $1,400 into that character, just because I wanted that character to be exactly what I wanted it to be. And it was the most fun character that I ever got to portray, because I got to be so self-involved with it. With this next character, with Killer Babes and the Frightening Film Fiasco, Brett is giving me a lot of control with that character as well. Basically, like, I'm a punk rocker, which is not really a far stretch from real life for me. A lot of the wardrobe that I'm going to be wearing for Killer Babes is my own wardrobe. Like my battle jacket, my leather jacket is one that I've been wearing for 25 years. I'm just putting my own stuff on it. I'm taking, stuff that's been on this jacket for 25 years and putting it on that one, and that's going to be my wardrobe. But, like I said, I like putting as much of myself into the character as well as the character design. But to me, I think that just the horror genre itself just gives you a broader range. Like I said, I've played a zombie, I played a mass killer, I'm going to play a punk rocker, I played a clown. That's a lot more broad range than, if you're just going out for the drama, the latest film drama, or the chick flick, or, the romance, or the comedy. You're going to play bar patron number 1, or male at bar number 2, whatever. You're just going to be like some guy in street clothes. But, for me personally, I like playing the characters. I love playing a good character role, whether it be a zombie or a clown.
It's almost like a negative and a positive at the same time. So whichever you choose, if you choose character, that helps you out, but at the same time, is it going to work for you within this genre if you perform long enough in the genre as it is?
Yeah, definitely.
And the performance-wise, how do you upkeep reassurance when it comes to a role that you might not even need in order to find better quality of a performance?
That's a tough question. Well, for me personally, I'll play any role that's given me, and I'll play it to the best of my ability. And now whether or not it's like a role that's needed, I can't say. I'm just here to portray whatever character that I'm given, and hopefully do the best job that anybody's seen for that character or that type of character.
Should an actor be in constant change mentally as they perceive any roles, or do you think it's better to adapt to change around the actor themselves?
I'd say definitely adapt. You don't necessarily want to change with every role. You definitely want to have the ability to adapt. To change, to say that the person is going to change means like almost like there is no going back. That's why I say I would rather adapt, so that way you have all these core abilities, but you can branch out and do a little bit of this and do a little bit of that, and not specifically change and be like, okay, now I'm going to do this, and now I'm going to change and do it this way. You want to be able to adapt. It's kind of like expanding your arsenal. But I want to be able to pull from a little bit from over here and a little bit from over there and incorporate all of this into this character. It's just be able to breathe life from all these other different aspects of your experiences, as it were, to flesh out that character.
Definitely, and change is, well, in its own way, it's like a personal choice having to do this, because sometimes it might not be best for that actor, even though change sounds like a cool way to make a decent character or performance of a character, but at the same time, if you're better off adapting around everything else, that helps form your craft rather than just accepting change, just because almost it's like a final decision. I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do, that's it, I'm going to become this part and so forth, but then you're not giving yourself room to how you're going to create it in a different way but still keep that element.
Yes, definitely. I totally agree.
Go along with whatever the film industry goes along with, and if you're not going on your own train and following whatever is the path that you're doing, you're going to be stuck in one genre, you're going to be stuck in one type of role, and it's going to be stale, and that's the worst thing you could do, is ever be stale.
It's like the horrors of being typecasted. You see all these actors that along the years might have gotten picked up. Like look at the guy that played Steve Urkel back in the 90s. Great character. The dude rocked that role. He played it for years. When was the last time you saw him do anything? Because everybody sees that guy as that nerdy character, and basically nobody wants to hire him. There's so many different types of actors, and to me, it almost seemed to happen a lot more with sitcoms or whatever, but you get these characters or these actors and get these great roles, and they play them forever, but they would end up getting typecast, and then so everybody would always see them as that type of character, and you never kind of really saw them anymore. Like, I would rather play one character in this movie, and then a couple of years later the character in this movie, and then a different character in this movie a couple of years later, versus like some of these actors that might get that recurring role on, say, a sitcom and do it for, say, 10 seasons. You can't guarantee what's going to happen after that 10th season, depending on the character. If you're one of the lucky roles that, maybe it's a simple character like an office worker, like, oh yeah, I mean, you're not going to be typecast whatsoever. Yes, you can run into that kind of drawback, as it were.
Do you think it's best to not reflect on your past roles, or do you think it's best to reflect on your past roles in order to gain a better ability to perform better roles in the future?
Oh yeah, I mean, I definitely like to reflect on my past roles. Like, I mean, I still love every character I've ever played. Some of them were a lot more fun than others. The zombie I played in Bombshell Bloodbath, excellent zombie. I still cannot get over the fact that I got to play such a cool-looking zombie. 10 years from now, I will always reflect, and God knows what kind of zombies or what kind of characters I might play in the next 10 years. But I'll always look back on that and be like, man, that was a really cool character. Or, same thing with my killer in Bloody Ballet. It's like, yeah, that was a really cool character. In my current work and in my future work, I want to use the experiences that I got from playing those types of characters and incorporate those into my new characters. And maybe there's a little bit of that zombie in my punk rocker that I'm about to play. You never know. Like, a little bit of everything. Yeah, I definitely reflect. I sit here and look at all the beautiful posters on my walls of all my hard work over the years and can't help but reflect. I've been pretty lucky to do some pretty cool stuff over the years, and I can only imagine what the future looks like, and so far it's looking excellent. But now I'm still doing it with all these same people, but everybody's gotten so much better, and then the films are getting distributed. People all over the world are buying these titles. Like, I've had our film Bombshell Bloodbath. We had a quarter-page ad in a Fangoria magazine. I grew up reading Fangoria magazine. Like, I would have never imagined that one of my posters would be in this magazine that I've known of and been a fan of for, 30-some-odd years. If you would have told me that 10 years ago when I did that first film, I'd be like, no, you're kidding me.
Go ahead and plug in any websites or anything that we can check out right now.
Yeah, well, I've got my personal website. It's www.LonShaney, SHANEY.com. www.lonshaney.com. I take it you're probably, since you're a movie buff, you're probably familiar with the actor Lon Chaney.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, Lon Chaney, and for any of your listeners out there that might not know, Lon Chaney was known as the Man of a Thousand Faces. He played Wolfman, Phantom of the Opera, all the good classic movie monsters. That first film that I spoke of, that first zombie film that I did 10 years ago, it was called A Few Brains More, Summer of Blood, and I ended up playing 5 different characters for the film. On the final day of shooting, when everybody was doing a toast, my buddy Bill, he said, and to Shane, Man of a Thousand Faces. And I said, I'm the next Lon Chaney. And then I was like, oh, I'm Lon Chaney. So, just kind of a little bit of twist on the name of Chaney, and including my name, Shane. And so I kind of snagged that nickname for myself. So I've been using it ever since. But yeah, you can check out my website, www.lonshaney, and it's got links to all my movie trailers, music videos. I've done several music videos, done a few Zach Wild and Black Label Society, so you can check those out. I should have links to those videos on my website as well as a few others.
There you have it, everybody. That is actor Shane Terry.
Thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate it. Oh, and you can also look me up on Instagram and Twitter under the same handle, @Lon Chaney.